Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. The following video will contain spoilers from the Legends of Tomorrow Season 2 Season Finale episode Aruba. So if you don't want anything spoiled or ruined for you, stop watching now. Hey guys, Dave here. Now, it's been a while since I've had a good old-fashioned theory video on my channel, so I thought I'd try to delve into the DCTV universe, also called the Arrowverse and whatnot, about a few of the pieces of the shows that need, I think it could be explored a little further, and what is possibly leading up to for the overall feel of the shows as a reality. And effectively, if you saw the end of season two's Legends of Tomorrow's finale, you saw that because of the legends messing around with time, breaking the rules of time, time itself is now broken. They end up crash landing in Los Angeles 2017, and there are modern buildings, future buildings, and dinosaurs running all the hell around. Now, I think what this is setting up for is effectively a chance to repair and rebuild the reality of the DCTVU. Now, let me explain. When Arrow first premiered, it was around the same time that DC had rebooted itself after Flashpoint to create the New 52. Essentially, they were starting with the idea that there were no superheroes that happened back in like World War II or whatnot. So everything started essentially just 5 years ago from that point. So when they tried that, that's what they were setting up for. That's why back on Arrow and The Flash, the first seasons, there were always references to 52. It was a nod to the New 52. Now, a lot of things that started happening in the comic books showing that there were certain things that just were kind of lacking. Like the fact that Green Arrow and Black Canary existed, but they never really had a relationship together. Or that there was a set of Titans that Dick Grayson was a part of, and things like that. So, right now they're trying to redo that in DC, the comic books, for something called Rebirth. And they're trying to explain that around Flashpoint, reality itself was affected, and certain things were made to be forgotten and just changed around. Now, this, of course, is not the first time that DC Comics has done things about altering reality and trying to fit things in. And that's where I'm getting to in this video. You see, there are things in the DC TV universe that, because of the chain reaction of what have happened with Eobard Thawne coming back to time to kill Barry's mother, and just the timeline that's been skewed because of him, there are things that are flat out wrong in this universe compared to the comic books. For example, season 1 of The Flash. Simon Stagg was supposed to be an industrialist that eventually, when searching for a mystical item called the Orb of Ra, a young man named Rex Mason, who fell in love with Stagg's daughter, Sapphire, was exposed to it and became the superhero Metamorpho, the Elemental Man. Now, Metamorpho was mentioned as a product that exists in this universe on Arrow, but Stagg is dead, so we don't even know if Metamorpho will ever happen. There was also something in Arrow that, I believe it was season 1 or season 2, that had a movie poster for something called the Blue Devil. Now, the Blue Devil was actually kind of cool. It's one of my lesser known, but one of my more favorite, little bit of a insider thing from DC Comics. Blue Devil was supposed to be a movie starring a guy named Dan Cassidy, who was a stuntman and actor who was also technically savvy. He created an exoskeleton suit that augmented his strength, gave him certain other abilities like agility, dexterity, and built-in weaponry. Well, while they were filming the movie, they accidentally unleashed an actual demon named Neburos, which ended up zapping Dan, and it melded the science with the magic of the beam, and for one thing, he was stuck in the suit. He couldn't get it off, so eventually he actually started to metamorph into an actual Blue Devil. Now, this was hinted at that this existed in the Arrowverse, but Did the movie ever come out? And if not, did Dan Cassidy actually encounter a demon or a devil and become the Blue Devil for real? I would love to see this. And Cord Industries is something that's been mentioned around a lot of times in Arrow and whatnot. And Cord Industries, of course, means that there's Ted Cord, who, of course, becomes the Blue Beetle. The second one, I should say. No sign of him showing up yet, but that still holds out hope. Amertech was a weapon manufacturing company that in the comic books actually was an enemy of John Henry Irons, a.k.a. Steel. He was the guy that took up the role of one of the 4 Supermen when Superman died, when Doomsday killed him. Now, that exists in the Arrowverse, but, of course, no real sign of Superman or anything like that. So, is John Henry Irons somehow running around in the Arrowverse? Maybe. It'd be kind of cool to explore that. Not only that, but I mean, there's just other little things that it makes me wonder about trying to fit in. On season 1 of The Flash, Tom Cavanaugh, wonderful actor, was rattling off names of people that died due to the particle accelerator explosion. Now, some of those names are very important. Al Rothstein, Will Everett, Bea DaCosta, Ralph Dibny, Grant Emerson. These are the real name identities of several superheroes that are in DC Comics. Al Rothstein, Atom Smasher. Of course, we found out in Season 2 that he actually did somehow survive, and Earth 2 version came over to take his place. So, does that mean that the others might still be alive? Was that a lie? So does that mean that Bea DaCosta, a.k.a. Fire, is running around? Will Everett, a.k.a. Amazing Man, could be running around. Grant Emerson, Damage. I mean, Ralph Dibny, the Elongated Man. Are they still alive, or were they actually wiped out by the particle accelerator? Which means that these characters should not have died. See, back in around the time of Crisis on Infinite Earths, this covered the fact that there were different realities, Earth 1, Earth 2, and whatnot. And Power Girl is effectively Kara Zor-El, but the Earth 2 version. She became more physically mature. We know her as Power Girl in there. But when reality was rewritten, all the various realities merged into one reality. The thing is, there was already a Supergirl. So what about Kara Zor-El from Earth 2? She was somehow rewritten for reality to fit in to be from Atlantis, believe it or not, in the comics. That eventually got retconned back to where she is from an alternate version of Krypton, so that was good. But what I'm getting at is that one thing we've been seeing in the comics, as well as in the shows, is that you push against reality. Reality tends to push back. Now, reality has been bent through time, through Flashpoint, and various things like that, which ended up creating the wormholes and things like that. And reality itself, the fabric of reality itself, has been damaged. This is definitely true in Legends of Tomorrow. And I think it's going to have some repercussions with the other shows, but maybe not as directly as we think. I think that basically reality realizes that due to the meddling of speedsters and time travelers, certain things have happened that should not have. I mean, here's another thing. How the hell is Nate Haywood, a.k.a. Citizen Steel, able to detect fluctuations in the timeline? He tried to explaining that, but he said that a friend taught him how to do it. Who's this friend? How would he be able to detect fluctuations in reality and space-time itself? Who is this guy? I'd like to know. So, I think what's happening is that reality has become so threadbare, so busted, that next season is going to have to deal with reality trying to stitch itself back together, and the heroes are trying to somehow come to grips with that. For example, another perfect example of a character that should not have died in this reality, was Laurel Lance. But now we have Earth 2 Laurel for Black Siren coming into Arrow as a regular. Maybe reality itself of the DCTV universe is trying to repair itself. I mean, there's all kind of things. We know for a fact that aliens exist in Supergirl's Earth 38, but we also know that they happen on Earth 1 as well. That's where we got the Dominators. And of course, a certain test pilot from Ferris Aircraft was known to have disappeared. We know this is Hal Jordan. We know that Jordan was in that reality, but he just hasn't shown back up yet. What's going on there? The Justice Society of America was something. Do people know about them, or do they not know about them? I mean, before there weren't supposed to be any other heroes around World War II time, but the Justice Society became something legendary. So they did exist, and some people know about them. But what's going on? I mean, Rex Tyler, as another example, our man should not have died the way he did at the hands of Eobard Thawne. So I think what's happening is that we're going to be getting time reshuffling into different possibilities. It's possible that we might be getting Kamandi, the last boy on Earth. He's from another reality where World War III happened, mutant animals started to dominate, and mankind became almost extinct. So that's a possibility. Another possibility is there's been weird tales from World War II and things like that about something called Dinosaur Island. Well, these breaks in time might be showing that reality's trying to fix itself, and this is starting to now insert itself back into what it should be. It's possible that, although the Music Meister, something I'm not too crazy about in this version, is something similar to Mr. Mxyzptlk, and is actually an agent of the universe trying to fix itself. So it might be trying to steer things back onto a path that's supposed to be. Now, Barry and Iris are supposed to be an item. Mon-El and Supergirl? Not necessarily. I mean, and that's another thing. Daxamites are supposed to have the same abilities as Kryptonians under a yellow sun. But they're getting nerfed. They're closer to the Golden Age Superman. Stronger, faster, tougher, but no really enhanced abilities for senses, things like that. No heat vision. I don't know if it's just a matter of whether or not they have to get more sunlight in them or what, but there are certain little differences. Also, Rip Hunter, his father is Booster Gold. That'd be nice to see him showing up sometime. But Booster is one of the things he required for his abilities was a Legion flight ring, and the Legion is tied to Superman and Earth 38. So how is that going to happen? I think eventually we're going to get something like a crisis that'll merge the Earths together into one, but that just hasn't happened yet. So reality's still trying to reshuffle itself and trying to fix itself. It could be interesting, and I would like to see a lot more of these things come to it. I mean, we have Constantine showing up in Arrow, which means that technically the stuff on the Constantine show also is part of it. He has the helm of Dr. Fate. They encountered Jim Corrigan, who's destined to become the Spectre. I mean, the Ace of Winchesters, a magic gun that can kill demons, is running around there. All these things are possible, but they're all seeming to be just jumbled and shuffled around like they're trying to fit in, but they're not quite working yet. So I think the best way to look at it is that the DCTV universe is jumbled, broken, and fractured, and it's trying to somehow fix itself again, trying to repair itself and make some kind of modicum of sense again. That's why we're getting the weird shuffling of stuff around. That's my opinion, at least. I think that the next season, Season 4 of The Flash, Season 6 of Arrow, Season 3 of Legends of Tomorrow, and as well as Supergirl, is going to be dealing with these cracks in reality and trying to somehow fix it. At least that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Let's get a good discussion going on here. Oh my God, it's been a while since I had a good old just fashioned discussion about comic book reality, quantum theory, stuff like this. This is the stuff I love. Anyway, guys, thanks for hearing me ramble on. I look forward to hearing what you guys think. Peace.